to MandoBug Crafts episode 10. Whee! It's a milestone! So, hey, what's up? I'm MandoBug, and my beard is falling. Also known as Amanda. Welcome new viewers, and for returning viewers, hey, I'm sorry about not recording last week. I feel pretty bad. I missed you guys. But I was really sick. I was sick all day Saturday, and it carried over onto Sunday, and it really just, it was not fun. So I hope none of you are going through the seasonal flu that I went through, because it was terrible. But as you can tell, I'm feeling better, I'm feeling happy, and okay, so I finished my Viking hat. I'm going to go ahead and share it now. I know before I said I'd wear it through a whole podcast, and as you can tell, this was not made for me. It was made for a male friend of mine who is got a bigger face than me. So the beard doesn't fit me properly, and I have a feeling this would get really annoying through the entire show. So I figured I'd have this on in the beginning. So you'd seen the finished hat. Here is the beard. Whee! Check out how long this is. Look at that. I got beard for days. Beard for days. This took a really long time. Okay, I'm gonna take it off. Whew, that's better. I feel like a woman again. But yeah, my hat. Oh, hey, check it out, because this is awesome. This bearded pattern is free, I think, by Melissa Campbell. I'll link to it, in the show notes. If that's wrong, I'll put a little note up. But it comes out. Freestanding beard! And so there's just buttonholes, and it buttons into the hat. This is awesome. It took a long time to make. Not gonna lie about that. And I'm gonna make more. So at work we have a holiday party coming up, and I have volunteered to help be a part of it, and they are holding a silent auction to raise funds for what we'll be able to do. So I'm gonna either put one or two up on there as custom orders, and then hopefully, I've already got people at work that said they'll pay like $60 at least for one of them, so it really makes me want to put up two, so I can at least get near $100 in donations towards the holiday party. That would be awesome. And I think people will be happy to have a one-of-a-kind MandoBug Viking beard of Epic-ness. So I know that's totally out of order for me to share my Viking hat right off the bat like that, but hey, episode 10, milestones here. Wanted to spice it up. So, let's get back to the normalcy of the show, right? Something I've learned. It's been 2 weeks since I recorded, so a lot has happened. I hope this episode isn't too long. Maybe I'll cut stuff if it gets bad. I normally don't edit my shows. I just one take, here we go. So, but I may have to do that if this runs too long. Or it can be a special, episode 10, longer than usual. I don't know. So, something I've learned. Well, I'll share one thing. There's a lot, but I'll just share one. I learned how to put grommets into fabric because I finally finished the corset that I told you I was making with Lindsay of the Knitwim podcast. Here it is. I have it. It's not at her house anymore. So here it is. Okay, I'll kind of back up, I guess. Got this brown and black fabric, and then in the back it's mostly just black in it. I have this laces up, so it's tighter. It's not really that big. And I think it turned out pretty good. I'm really, whoops, kicked the table. I'm really happy with how it turned out. This is my very first corset ever, and it's not that bad. The inside is ugly, of course. You can see all my boning. I bought white boning. I thought that you wouldn't be able to see it, but the way the pattern works, you sew it into the seams. So you do see it. That's okay. You won't see it when you wear it, right? And then the bias thing, that's new for me. I've never used bias tape. Well, it's not really tape, but I guess that's what they call it. I've never used that before. I cheated. I'm so bad. I cut my own bias tape on the bias, and it is way stretchier. You know, I had read that, and I didn't believe it. And it's true. So I pinned it the way you were supposed to, and I sewed the front down the way you were supposed to with an invisible seam. Then you're supposed to flip it over and then hand sew so that there's an invisible seam on the inside as well. Well, I didn't. I just sewed through the fabric, so you can tell there's a seam along my bias, but I don't care. And this is the middle of the chest. I had a little bit of issues there. I don't know. I didn't know how to get it to fold nicely, so I just kind of made something up. But, so yeah, you can see that seam. For the most part, I'm happy with it. Oh, and the whole point of me showing you this is the grommets. So that was cool, putting these in. There's like, okay, here's ugly inside. There's 2 pieces, and you make a hole, you put it through the piece, and then there's like I think they call it an anvil maybe, and like a rubber piece that matches the size of the grommet, and then you take a rubber mallet and you just bang, 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 bang on the little anvil part, and it pushes them through and it smushes. You can kind of see it smushes them together. So yeah, not that hard. You kind of got to be buff and not afraid to hit your finger, which may or may not have happened a couple times. But at least it was a rubber mallet and not a real hammer. But yeah, corset. Yay! I don't wear corsets, so I think I'm going to send it to my mom. I think she'll get a good use out of it. We're the same size, and actually the boobs on this corset don't really fit me very well, so I'm not that big. But I think it will fit her nicely. So there's my corset. Works in progress. I have quite a bit because it's been 2 weeks, so some of it's new. Okay, one of it's new. I feel like I've been doing a lot more than I really have, I guess. I cast on yesterday Shallows by Bonnie Sinnott. I'm using my Malabrigo sock yarn in the Marty colorway that I got from the Atlanta Shop Hop, and some beads I got from Joann's. Where are my beads? So here's the beads, and here's my progress. It is a pattern for a scarf or shawl, or a scarf or cowl. I'm going to make mine into a cowl. That's why down here you'll see this scrap yarn, this orange. You use a provisional cast on, and then when you finish, it's going to be grafted together. I've got some beads on here so far. This is my first time knitting with beads, and I'm kind of mad because in the pattern it says size 6 seed beads, and you can use a size 10 crochet hook to pull the knitted stitch through the bead, and these seed beads holes are too small. I can't get the crochet hook through. So I'm doing like this improvised thing. I don't have it near me, but it's kind of like fishing line, and it takes longer and it sucks. So thanks, Joann's Beads, for having tiny holes, but the color is perfect. I mean, those beads are the perfect color to go with this yarn. It's so pretty. I'm excited. So cast that on. And I love working with this Malabrigo sock. Like, I'm new to the nice yarns. And this yarn's nice. So I'm also working on my dissertation. I'm behind. No surprise. I said that last week. Well, last episode 2 weeks ago. I finally finished the swirls, which I don't like, so much for this being my favorite things. Infinity scarf. That's okay. There's the swirls motif all finished, and you can see I got some blue up here. I'm going to start my next motif, and one of my favorite things, one of them's this podcast. And so I'm going to put MandoBug crafts around this next motif in this turquoise and white. So kind of like my intro slides. So that's coming up next. I think so far with this scarf I'm at like 15 inches and I'm supposed to be at 22 this weekend. So yeah, gotta catch up. So that's going well. Guess what else I pulled out that I haven't worked on for a little while? You know that knit along? Los Lirios by Alabrigo that ended like in September and now it's November. I started working on that again. I think this is the front. I've gotten 3 flower sets done and now I'm going to be starting this netting part is going to come next. So you can see how much I've got done since last time I showed you, because remember my cat Harvey, who I call Meow Meow, he ate the working yarn, so that was on this row. And I tinked back and then started with over out of the ball, and that's what I've gotten done. So I like how this is turning out. I haven't dropped a stitch since, I don't know, last time I told you I was dropping stitches, so I'm feeling pretty confident. And, you know, I say that, but I dropped the stitches on the netting rows, and that's what I'm about to start, so I don't want to drop any more stitches. I have a feeling it's just the pattern, and my fingers don't like it, and it just slips right past them, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. So I've been working on that, and some spinning. So this spinning's not going very well. This is the silk hankies. I don't know if I'm having a hard time drafting silk or drafting silk for my hanky or what. But I started chain plying my spun silk and this is how terrible it looks. I'm so sad about it because silk is one of my favorite fibers ever. There we go, autofocus. Look at it. That's so bad. It doesn't even look like yarn. But I love silk. It's so soft and you know how kids have their security blankets? When I was a child, it was my mom's silk nightgown. So like silk is my thing, and I think I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna finish this silk and then I'm gonna keep getting it and keep doing it until I get it right. Determination. But this is not going so well. I gotta hurry up because I need my 3rd bobbin because I got my 2nd art bat single spun and I'm ready to spin the 3rd one, but my 3rd bobbin that I made has pre-drafted silk on it that needs to be spun and then chain plied onto this. So I just got so mad at the silk I haven't touched it, and now it's getting in the way of me spinning the rest of that art bat. So come on, silk. So that's all my whips. Finished objects. So I already showed you my Viking hat and my corset. So I only have one other finished object, and that is my alpaca. I bought from the Georgia Alpaca Fiber Fest from Wake Robins Inc., I believe. I'll link to it. And here it is. So it's a pretty color. If you see, the green is the scrap yarn that I used to tie it together. But this is the 2 1-ounce balls that I had of alpaca, and I literally set the 2 pencil rovings on top of each other and drafted from 2 of them at once. So my singles were barber poled, kind of. It wasn't very consistent because the lady we bought them from had told us that they had been overcooked. And that's not fun to spin with. The fiber itself is really soft. and it's really nice. But because it was overcooked when it was dyed, it was really hard to draft in certain areas, especially on, I don't know if you can tell the colors, but the dark blue that you see, that stuff was it was chafing my fingers as I was drafting it because I had to pull so hard to draft it. And it's not, I've spun, you know, a little bit now, and I know I wasn't grabbing it in the wrong spot to draft it. Silk has taught me that, man, because staple link's like out here. But if you try to pull here, you're not going to get anywhere. So I know I was grabbing at the correct points to draft it. It just didn't want to come apart. It was like cooked together. So that was hard and really frustrating, and I just wanted to finish it. So this 1 ounce skein had 2 half ounces of different colors. I got about 30 yards. It's a little thicker than worsted weight. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but it was nice to spin alpaca. My first time spinning alpaca, even if it was some of it overcooked when it was dyed. So that I'm glad that's over. So enabling. I have decided to change this section to I'm changing it now to check it out. And so I'm going to tell you why. Because with the enabling, it's like, oh, hey, I bought these things and I'm sharing them with you because, hey, why not? Maybe you want to buy them too. Well, I'm really cutting back on what I buy. So I'm not always having stuff for this section. But I do like sharing things that I like that are craft related. So check it out will give me more room to share things that maybe are not new, or maybe I didn't buy them, but it's something that I think is cool that if you don't know about it, check it out. So for my new check it out segment, I'm going to share this book that saved me and Lindsay's lives when we were making the corsets. I got this at the Goodwill. Reader's Digest Complete Guide to Sewing, and it is very complete. It's got whole sections on everything you need to know about sewing. It starts with basic alterations, and it goes all the way into every kind of sewing technique you need to know how to do with multiple variations. Like we had to make a lot of alterations to Lindsay's corset, and at one point we put buttonholes in it, and neither of us had ever done that, and there was like 20 pages on buttonholes, and like there was 5 variations of how to make each kind of buttonhole, and it is, when it says complete guide, it is a complete guide. We also used it to do the bias tape on the edges because neither of us had ever done that, and it wasn't in the corset pattern that we bought. We got the corset pattern, I think it was by Simplicity. Joann's had $1. They sold all the Simplicity patterns for $1, limit up to 10, right before Halloween. So we grabbed a bunch of the Halloween patterns. And this pattern had said to just kind of put this decorative elastic over the edges, and we were like, no, we're not going to do that. It's going to look ugly. So, and not only that, I wouldn't have found like lingerie styled elastic to match the fabric that I had. It just was not going to happen. So I was like, you know, let's do bias tape. So we got to use the book for that, and it's so nice. My one complaint, which if you guys get this from a Goodwill like I did for a couple dollars, it might happen to you too, but this book, it smells like old grandma. It has this, like, I don't know if somebody took some old Elizabeth Taylor perfume to this book, or if that's just what the owner wore before she donated it away, but it smells. It reeks. But maybe I can pretend it's like my knitting or my sewing Nana in this book, like a fairy godmother of sewing, and that's just what she smells like. I don't know, man. It's been a long 2 weeks, huh? So check that out if you are looking for a complete guide to sewing. because it's pretty sweet. I do have to say though, if you're looking into sewing like quilts, there's not like really anything on quilting in there. It's primarily for apparel. So that is a little side note. So current events. Nerd Wars is going on. Round 2 started yesterday, and I got a lot planned for that. Shallows cowl that I showed you in Malabrigo earlier is going to go for one of the challenges, and I plan on making a diaper cover set for my future niece, and finishing a blanket and a shawl, the Los Lirios shawl, and I have another project, but I won't remember what it is right now. You'll see it eventually. So that's going well so far. Round 1 ended, and I dwarfed the nebula. I did. I got all 5 challenges turned in, and one of them hasn't been scored yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to get full points. So, woohoo! If I don't dwarf it this round, I won't be disappointed, but I'm still going to try. Overachiever right here. So, oh, and NaNoWriMo's going on, and I've decided I'm not going to participate. I kept racking my brain those last couple days for ideas and themes, and I just didn't have anything, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to force it. Creativity should just flow out of you when you're inspired, and I'm not inspired by anything at this moment to write about, at least. So I'm going to pass. But I hope you guys try it. I think it's definitely a good idea for people interested in writing or seeing what they're capable of. Just because you may not be a writer doesn't mean you shouldn't try. And, you know, I don't know. Back when I went to the, oh no, that wasn't then. What I was doing was I was watching the, man, what's it called? The Fiber Factor. That's what it is. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it is like an online knitting competition reality show that people have put together, where knitting designers have challenges and they design patterns for these challenges. And one of the ladies that is a designer, in her intro video, she was talking about how, and I loved this about her, she was talking about how when you're a little kid, or well, when you ask children, like kindergarten, like, hey, who here is a singer? And they all raise their hand. You know, who here is a dancer? And they all raise their hands. But then when you become an adult and you ask people those things, the only time that people raise their hands is when they're really good at it. So just because you're not maybe the best at it doesn't mean that's not who you are. Just because you may not be an amazing singer doesn't mean you're not a singer. I sing in the car and I sing in the shower and it's terrible. But I'm still a singer, and I shouldn't be ashamed of it just because I'm not a professional singer. So that's how I feel about the writing for NaNoWriMo. Everyone should do everything and be proud of who they are and their abilities. So where did that whole little pep talk come from? I don't even know. I'm crazy because I'm so excited. It's episode 10. That's what it is. Episode 10 on my brain. So that's for current events. That's it. Nerd Wars and NaNoWriMo. Upcoming events. So the Carolina Fiber Frolic is coming up. It's in North Carolina. I'm not going to be going. It's the 8th through the 10th. But hey, if it's your local area, go check it out. It seems, I checked out the website. I'll link to it in the notes. It seems pretty cool. It seems like, you know, most fiber festivals, there'll be getting together and sales and events, and so. Excuse me. Should be fun for people who attend. And then Christmas is coming up. It's right around the corner. We got like not even 2 months, and if you have to ship your gifts like I do, it's really cutting down the time. So I'm gonna have to keep my Christmas gifts off here. I know, because people who I knit and crochet for, some of them watch my show. So that sucks. I hope I do enough other than Christmas crafting to still have stuff to put in the show for you, so. But I ain't putting Christmas gifts on here. No, no, no. Well, so this is episode 10, and I do have a little mashup of the last 9 episodes, maybe some clips from this one too if I feel like doing more editing. I put them together in a mashup for you. I hope you enjoy it. So I will put it here at the end of the show after I say goodbye. I just don't have any clips from the first episode because I recorded it on my laptop and I've been doing all this HD video on my desktop, so oh well, it was bad quality video anyways. But that's all I got for you guys, so stay tuned for my mashup and have a good week. Bye! I set that hat down for 1 second. Meow. Work in progresses. Work in progresses. Work in progresses. Works in progress is. Works in progresses. Work. You know I say that wrong. Anyways, doesn't matter. You know what I'm talking about. Well. Dang it. Well, I don't know what I think, apparently. Oh, my brain is like dead. Wiggly, wiggly, wiggle. No. No. Or wait. Yeah. No. No. The best, the Georgia alpaca, really? Oops. Photographic tutorials. Okay, that's not even correct English. Totally Americanized, accented that. And mooses, is it mooses or Asheville, South Carolina, or North Carolina? Oh, crap. It's in one of the Carolinas. Don't laugh at me. That's creepy. I'm crazy. Oh. I don't know. I was like, oh goodness.